Hello everyone, this is Dr. K, and I would just like to put in this shameless plug for the course that I am teaching next semester in spring 2016, CS5704 Software Engineering. Now that you're familiar with object-oriented programming, a logical place to go with that is software engineering, where you kind of see the big picture of what it takes to develop a quality software product. You learn essentially that coding is just one part, although an important part, of the software lifecycle. You also have things like requirements gathering, analysis and design, testing and verification, and of course maintenance. We're going to learn about the waterfall model, and we're going to learn about the response to that waterfall model, which is iterative development. Some of you may have heard about Agile methods, extreme programming, or Scrum, which is the big thing nowadays. We're going to talk about all of that. In the second half of the course, we're going to focus on one of my favorite topics, and that is design, and in particular, design patterns. So I think this is going to be an exciting course. This is the book that we're going to be using, Roger Pressman, Software Engineering, A Practitioner's Approach. It's a good standard textbook. This is the only book you're going to have to purchase. We're actually going to be using quite a few books. We're going to be making use of Safari Books Online a lot. And I sometimes give readings from this book, UML Distilled by Martin Fowler. I love this guy, Martin Fowler. He's very opinionated, but he really writes a good book. And then, of course, in the second half, we're going to be doing Headfirst Design Patterns. This is another fun book. This is just kind of a fun book. It's a really good introduction to design patterns. So I think you'll like that one, too. There's another book, Craig Larman. We won't be using this too much, but I think I've got a couple readings from a few chapters. And there's a few more readings from Safari Books Online that I'll be giving out also. So in front of me, I've got the homepage of this semester's software engineering class. This is the homepage on Canvas, and you can see that this is your one-stop shop for handling this course. Everything. Every single week, here's week 1, here's week 2, and I've got links to everything on this one page. So you don't have to think about where to go to. You always go to this page. Let me take a particular week here. Module 3, Agile Development. So this is week 3. And you can see, you can click on this module. Let me bring that up in another tab. Okay, here is the module for Agile Development. We've got a little overview. We got some lesson objectives, concepts. And then I've got the responsibilities. And this is basically a duplicate of what is on that homepage. You've got the recordings for module, and I've got the number of the amount of time approximately you might want to spend on each one of these things. So let me go back to the home page. The first thing you typically do is listen to the recordings, and I know I have the recording pages up here somewhere, or I thought I did. Okay, I guess I'm going to have to open a new tab for the recordings. Okay, so this is the recordings page, and you can see we've got the videos. And surprisingly, I was just counting the other day how many videos I have that's related to just this course alone, and it turns out that I have close to 100 videos on YouTube. That sounds like a scary amount, but consider that they're each an average of about 10 minutes long. So it works out to about an hour of video recordings per week. And you can see that this is just a YouTube playlist, and it's got all the videos. You can watch them in any order you want. A lot of these videos are based on lectures. So there are slides associated with them. As you can see, I have a link to the slides here. And these are the slides for that particular recording. Let's go back to our homepage. The other thing is sometimes I'll give an assignment on lynda.com. Okay, so I have a project on refactoring in this module. Simon Allardyce on lynda.com talks about refactoring. Here are some of the readings from Safari Books Online. And in this particular module, we have a project. Now, in this class, there will be 3 main programming projects that include programming. But as you can see, even from this, they are not exclusively programming. A big chunk of it is coding, but there's also, you have to draw a diagram and you have to take a quiz. In contrast to probably some of the programming projects you're used to doing in 5044, the projects in 5704 will be more oriented towards design. For example, for this refactoring, let me see if I can bring this up. Okay, for this refactoring project, you actually start with a code that is provided for you. And that code works. It's fully functional. What you have to do is you have to refactor that code using some standard refactoring techniques that I tell you what they are. And of course, your resulting code has to be correct, but I'm also looking at whether you've applied those techniques correctly. And here's the type of diagram that you're going to have to do. I actually show you what the diagram for the code before the refactoring looks like, and you have to give me a similar diagram for after the code. Okay, so let's go back to the home page just to hit a few more items. Almost every week there is a Canvas discussion board. And in the Canvas discussion board, I'll ask you to give me your informed opinion on certain topics. So in this one, the topics are related to Agile development. Here's one: Scrum seems to be the method of choice these days. Does anyone have an experience with it? Does anyone know why it has bumped XP for the Agile crown? So, we get into it here. And of course, for discussions and questions on the programming assignments, we still have Piazza. Okay, so we still can ask questions on Piazza. There's also the Pressman readings and Pressman quizzes. These are not graded, but I expect you to do these because I draw from these questions on the midterm and final exams. And then, of course, there is a live Q&A session, which is optional because this is an asynchronous course, but I do post the recording to that. And that's it. That's my pitch. I've got a lot of good positive feedback on this course. I think you'll like it, and I hope to see you next semester.